Good morning, November 12th, a few minutes after 8 a.m. And this is the paddock that I put the cows on yesterday and a little bit the day before. So they got probably a total of 6-7 hours on this one. And they've done a number on it. Don't really think that I'll be able to let them have any more of this. Probably what I can do is give them the edge where the pond is. They're not going to hurt anything out there, really. Might actually do a little bit of good on knocking down some of that. But you can see the grass is considerably taller on the other side of the hot wire. And they've pulled this down pretty good. They're still leery of the hot wire, which is a good thing. And I've noticed that they don't graze real close to the hot wire, and they don't graze, they're probably staying back 8 or 10 feet for the majority of the way around the hot wire. So I'm not going to get over in the mud. I did get most of that topsoil knocked down yesterday before the rain set in. It still needs some work on the topsoil, but the pond dam settled pretty good. I wish I could have cleaned a little bit more of it up inside. There's a little bit more loose material, but just working in such a small space with a medium-sized dozer or a large little dozer spinning around, you just tilled up more loose soil. So I finally just kind of come to the conclusion to stop where I was at and go from there. But you can see we've got some grazing, some stuff tromped down. On this paddock here, they didn't get into the wild garlic and onions like they had previously. So there's still quite a bit of that sticking up. But the fescue, they nailed what little bit of orchard grass is out here and just other wild grasses. They nailed it pretty hard. Yesterday morning, I walked this fence and the back half of it was tore down. So I guess the deer had found it. But there again, a lot of stuff grazed down lower than I'd like. They really put the hammer on some stuff. Wasn't as much trampled down as I expected. Oh, and there goes some deer right there. They're fixing to be. I think they bedded back down. Because there's one right over there. I don't see it, but I'll be kind of quiet. I'll pull the camera up close to me so you can hear me. See if we can jump them again. I think it's 3 does that I've been seeing out here. Yeah, I think they bedded right back down. I think they're right over on the other side of the fence in the brush. Yeah, I don't think they ever came out into this. I think they just dropped right down into the brush and hanging out. So, well, we'll get back to talking about the pasture here. Over in here is not as grazed. So we're supposed to have a little bit more warmer weather, a cool snap the weekend. I think it's supposed to warm back up. So got a little other stuff I can turn them to. So I'll probably take this fence back up and give them something else, and give this a little bit. I'm sure there's some stuff out in the briars that they can get on. But all in all, they did a number on it, and they did what they're supposed to do, taking just the tips for the most part. Some stuff they grazed completely down. And what's funny is last night I came over here well after dark. I think it was up around 7:30, and stopped over there at their gate and called for them, and they were ready to come in. They don't like being in unfamiliar places when it gets dark, obviously. So I was able to call them in. I'm gonna put out some hay for them this morning. The hay I had on the dump truck, the tarp seems to have blown up some, so I don't know how much of it got wet. I don't think a whole lot. And you're okay letting square bales get wet if you're fixing to feed them. No difference than dropping a round roll out. So, but you can see they're patiently waiting on me. They went back over here, and there's still a little bit they could have grazed, but I'm afraid that they will graze some of this other down more before they move and graze some of the rest. So probably what I'll do is I'll give them the other half of that field there, or I may give them some of this field here. Some of this field here is not going to hurt it to get grazed kind of heavy, and may give them the portion that I just bush hogged. Either way, I'll probably set that up tomorrow, set that paddock up, because me and my daughter, we're going to work on the barbed wire fence here, getting this line fence cleaned out a little bit of brush on it. Needs to be weed eated. I haven't weeded it this year. And we're going to run a steel hot wire down it. So this here is just kind of a quick cob job of getting wire over, because I needed to be on one side of the road here to make a laneway for the cows. Then I needed to be on the property line going that way. So put that up, and that still spooks the cows a little bit. They know, they see it there, and they know it's there, and they're a little apprehensive to walk under. At least some of them are. The old black mama cow. There goes the deer. I don't know if y'all can see it. If I get zoomed in. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? I think that it slipped down under the ridge before we got up there. So that's probably some of those 3 does. They probably snuck back through the bushes. About to lose her fall color. The hickory tree over there in the wood line that was just a bright on fire yellow orange has almost slipped to brown now. Fescue's still coming on a little bit though, and like I said, I think I can give them the left side of this field. I'd like to give it another few days, because I did cut hay off of it. But what I bush hogged here is probably a day's worth of grazing for them. They're not going to hurt it too terribly much. So I think I'll fence it off tomorrow as we run the hot wire down this barbed wire fence. And that's just going to give me a connection that I can come up, hook onto, and run out from this fence. You can see in their permanent home. Not much going on out there. It's kind of, it's definitely conventional farming. And I'm trying to get away from that. But as of right now, I'm having to leave them in here, and I mean, they've been on it for 5 years. And that's just what we did, you know. You left them where they were at, you fed them hay in the winter, and come March or April, hopefully March, you stop giving them hay, and there you go. My hay consumption this year was surprisingly more, and it's just from having young growing cattle that these little guys are really eating it up. So, but everybody's looking good. Old black cow, she's pulled down a little bit, but her calf, that's her calf there, the little Hereford calf. And the little black cow's got some Hereford in her way back, probably in the late 80s, the herd she came out of, they used to run Hereford bulls. And her mama was a black white face, black baldy. Looky here. Now, oh, I always see the butt running off. Couldn't tell if that was a buck or not. It wouldn't surprise me if that was a buck. But anywho, I got 12 minutes of video here, so I'm gonna jump off here and get this uploaded. I hope y'all have a great day, and I will see y'all soon.